This is my soul brother, Shervin. We are currently in Ubud in Bali, and he didn't know I was still here. And I've just sat through one of his sound meditation classes.
Nobody ever wants to leave this place. What's the deal?
Yeah, isn't it great?
It's pretty amazing.
I know. So it was like, surprise, I'm still here. So I really wanted to interview Shervin because it was over a year ago. I actually came here and I did your full day sound medicine workshop.
The intro to sacred sound.
Yeah, the
right?
whole day one where
Yeah.
we played with all the instruments,
Right.
and there was about 5 instruments that shook me in such a way, and they're all tribal. And from there, I've really got into sound meditation because I'm very kinesthetic. And I've found that I can literally jump out of my body, go astral traveling, relax. Sometimes, like this class, I was vibrating. I actually saw a snake. I was getting visions in this class. Me and the snakes, man. The Kundalini energy. I keep fighting it. So, Shervin, explain to us what sound medicine or sound meditation is for those that have never tried it before, because every week you do many classes here and you get a lot of virgins coming in
You could say, yes.
where they've never experienced it. So for those people that can't sit
Although
there in
it's getting
silence,
pretty slim pickings these days.
Ooh.
It's getting so popular.
Oh, we're
which is
liking it. That's
wonderful.
good. Yeah.
There's fewer and fewer people who've never done it before.
Well, I can't do just a sitting
Yeah.
thing because my brain, I get so much brain chatter that happens that I've found personally that the sound works well for me. So can you sort of explain why someone would try something like this and what they may get out of it?
Well, it's such a wonderfully broad subject
Yeah.
of music and sound, and there's so many different ways to access this world of sacred sound, sound medicine, sound healing, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can find something that is appealing about it, and it's essentially a better way to deepen your experience with these things.
That is.
Get yourself into the space of listening.
Yeah.
And then, like I said in the intro to Sacred Sound experience, that these become little conduits for listening on a grander scale.
Yeah.
Listening on all different facets of your life.
Yeah.
And so these musical instruments, you know, we've used them for entertainment and
Yes.
these things that are kind of surface level, but they can also be wonderful bridges into the senses, into a sense of presence and into a capacity to be able to relate better, first to the body,
Yeah.
to be able to listen to pain that's perhaps been blocked or kept locked inside in some
Yeah.
way, and to allow it to come to the surface, to even take a moment to, you know, celebrate it, because it's giving you a message.
It
And
does.
when you start to build those relationships with all those different vibrations that are coming around, then I feel like you can live a more fulfilling life. That you can start to engage in life in a different way. That you can discern, and that you can step forward with those things that really are harmonious to you, and perhaps step away from those things
Yeah,
that
so
may
good
not
for
be.
you.
So that's in a nutshell the
Okay.
philosophy.
So how many different kinds of instruments do you play with? How many can he?
The sound,
Anyone's got some instruments, bring it over when you come and visit him, all right? Some
it's
new ones.
quality, not quantity. Man.
Oh,
Come on, baby.
that's something I would normally say. It's all about the quality.
Little trouble. No, it's there's many different types of instruments, but you know, sound medicine that you come to every Wednesday night at the
Yep.
Ubud is probably 50 to 60 different instruments.
That's a lot of
It's
instruments.
a lot of different instruments, and you know, in the past I used to also incorporate color therapy with silks on the body and color scarves, and then the essences too. But I only have 2 of these, and I can't get around to all
As
these
a
other
music
things
man.
I want to do.
I know, when I listen to sometimes when you guys are doing it, I've got visuals, you know, the music man, there's the ding, 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 clack, 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 clack. And it's like, well, how are you doing this? Because my eyes are closed. So it's like, how you do this? And someone snuck in the room that I didn't know was there and helping out.
I grow these extra tentacles. But yeah, it's very much like that. It's done in a way which not a lot of people could kind of like consider that it would have any kind of benefit. It would
Yeah.
just, for them, it would be like, oh, I like going to music, concerts, and live music.
Yeah.
But the way that the instruments are grouped, and I think you can attest to this, that there's something about how they can
Work
interact
together.
with you and how they work together.
Yeah, I mean, I
creates the show.
actually took a friend of mine to his very first class last week, and he was just like, he's like, my whole body, like, my body's vibrating, and his hands were shaking later, and he went to show us something, we're like, honey, your hands are shaking. He's like, I'm just vibrating, like, I'm vibrating. And he was really excited to have found something else. You know, I know on my journey I have heard quite a few different kinds of instruments. Some bring up raw emotion for me, which are the more tribal ones, and it's like
I remember you loved the didgeridoo.
oh my god, I love it.
last,
And I'm from Australia, and we hardly hear the didgeridoo, but even this class you played it, and that's when I went off on a journey, you know, and I was just, actually that's when the snake turned up in my visions, the kundalini.
Wow, nice.
Keeps coming back. So it was,
Serpent medicine.
yes, I literally keep disappearing with certain sounds, and then I have had a class with a specific gong at a specific vibration that I personally went into trauma, and
Yeah.
I felt a bit of pain. So it was interesting that different sounds can, you know, make you just feel juicy,
Yeah.
you know, and others might bring up, you know, something that you need to process. And then others will just, I will just go on a journey to another planet or world, and I'm just,
Everybody
yeah.
interacts differently, and it's a question of the space itself, the acoustics of the space, and the practitioner too.
Yeah.
And whether they have a sensitivity towards the instruments, whether they have training, I mean, it's a very different thing to be a musician and jamming compared to working with sound and energy.
Yes.
And
Because
I'm
this
not
is more
sure.
than just sound.
It's
This
much
is the
more.
thing, is this is much, much more than just sound. So if you think you're just going to stick on some music and that's it, I mean, we're relaxing while we're doing this, and that's really hard because sometimes your body just wants to move, and it's like, no, that's not what we're doing here. We're connecting with ourselves really in this kind of work. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the sort of thing where it creeps up on you in the moment where you least expect it.
Yeah, it
And you
does.
just have this kind of shift in perception. And for some people it comes and it affects them the following night or that same night, and everybody's going to have a different response, but it's the sort of thing where you will completely change your idea and your perception of how live music can be shared. And everybody should try it at least once.
I agree. And by the way, I've also had private sessions with Shervin, and you did sound. I forgot you did the colour, putting different colours. I forgot about the smell. Yeah, you did use different scents, and you also did the bio-tuning. So for people that have never heard of the bio-tuning, can you very briefly explain what that is?
The biotuning with
the forks.
With the forks, yeah. So this is a very specialized form of sound therapy that combines sound, vibration, and acupuncture. It's something that was established by the Tamado Academy of Sound, Color, and Movement in 1988 when the academy first came out. My teacher was the first person to bridge the worlds of Chinese medicine and sound healing, and he did so many, many years ago. And the beautiful thing about this art is that the sound gets to travel inside the body, where you can feel it so strongly. There's very pure vibrations coming in, where you can get a sense that energy is moving, that you kind of have a cellular realignment.
Yeah.
The cells start to come together, and you start to feel like, just bring everything to center, and all of the toxins and the tension in the muscles tends to dissipate, and in that space you're deeply relaxed,
Yeah.
and information can come to you. And so
Yeah.
that's really the gist of it. Some people need this kind of therapy for radical relaxation, and other people can use the same kind of therapy, a different treatment, to empower them, to charge them up. And it uses the Chinese medicine system for diagnosis. It also blends color therapy, like you remember, and light therapy and essences. and I play the instruments around you too. So it has this wonderful.
You never like doing one thing
saturation.
at a time, do you?
I know.
It's like, we're not just going to do crystal
It's
bowls. We're
never-
going to do the didgeridoo. We're going to put a flute in there. That whatever that string instrument is that you play. Oh my
The
God,
kachapi, yeah.
that's beautiful. I'm like,
thank
please
you.
don't stop, don't stop. And the guitar, he loves his guitar.
I have to
and
play these
singing.
live instruments, and I carry them with me wherever I go, and so the staff don't like it because it means they have to actually carry stuff.
He's got a lot when he comes here, I tell you right now. It's brilliant. So for those of you that have never tried sound meditation or sound therapy, highly recommend it. This is something I've now been doing for over probably about a year and a few months now. I don't even know what month we're in. It's a blur, and I'm completely hooked. In fact, on my phone, on my SoundCloud, I actually have got the crystal bowl meditation. So when I put it in, I can hear it ringing around my head, and I put that on when I need to really come down a few notches.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
works.
especially if I'm agitated, I find that it really works quite well. You know, and I bring myself back into, center myself, and then I just go, I'm thinking about things that don't matter. It's done, it's finished. So, I found it as a really good tool myself. For those of you that do come to Ubud, you can find Shervin at a few different places, not just the yoga barn. You also work at the is it Pyramids of Chi?
It's called Radiantly Alive.
Radiantly Alive, that's right.
And I do regular events here pretty much 8 months of the year. I tour Europe and I tour the US. And you can get all kinds of information about me at soundhealingbali.com.
I'm going to put that link on here.
And if you want to check out my music, I'm also on Bandcamp under Shervin Boloorian.
Oh, yes. Okay. He does have some music that's been taped, so you guys can have a really good taste of what this is all about. And if you can't make it over here or see him around the globe, you'll actually be able to do this at home.
That's right.
I love it. Well, thank you very much for joining
Thank
me.
you,
Oh
my
my
dear.
God, I
It's
love
so
this man
nice to
so
have
much.
you.